We'll hear more from the Conservatives on all of this as well a little later this lunchtime.
Now it's 2:15. Let's catch up with the business news of the day. Let's go over to Simon Jack. Good afternoon, Simon.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Matthew. Good afternoon, Jane. The severe drought in mortgage lending shows no sign of letting up. According to new figures out today from the Council of Mortgage Lending, there were just 24,000 mortgages approved in January. That was a decline of 28% from December. You might expect that. It's traditionally a quiet month, but crucially down 52% from the year before. And one interesting statistic is that first-time buyers, who made up about a third of that number, were having to put, on average, 24% of the value of the home up for deposit. To look through the tea leaves here and tell us what's going on in the property market, we've got Henry Pryor, property expert. Hi, Henry. 24% deposit. Where are people getting that kind of money from?
Well, this CML report really is a shocker, I'm afraid. It ought to carry probably an 18 certificate. If your kid shouldn't see it, and if you're a homeowner, it's going to make really uncomfortable reading. These guys have got to find 25% deposit out of taxed income. On the average salary, that's probably going to take them somewhere in the order of 3 or 4 years to save that kind of deposit together. So most of these people won't be able to participate until after the 2012 Olympics.
OK, well, there's been a report out from Numis Securities, one of the stockbrokers, who say the implication for some of this on house prices is that house prices could fall a further 55%. That sounds like the Armageddon scenario.
Well, there are as many opinions today as people you stop and ask, and it's not surprising to find some people obviously at one end of the spectrum. I suspect this is pessimistic, but nevertheless we've seen in Japan in the lost decade, as it was called, house prices falling by actually over 80%. So there are those who subscribe to these kinds of price falls.
But we were told there's lots of green shoots of recovery. Buyer inquiries are up for the 4th month in a row. A huge interest in it. People window shopping. Does that not give us any room for optimism?
Well, there is indeed reason to be cheerful from estate agents reporting that the number of buyer inquiries are up, but we're probably coming from a very low base. 2 buyers in February as opposed to 1 buyer in January is a 100% increase, but it's still a very low bottom.
Now, there's a guy called Peter Young, who's a London estate agency, trying to put together a petition to get the government to suspend stamp duty across the board until 2012. Will that make any difference if you're successful?
Well, it's a very imaginative idea. For many buyers, this is going to represent, at the top end of the market, anything up to a 4% reduction on top of the reduction in house prices. So those people will certainly see a benefit in it. It's been tried before. This is not something that's new. It will cost the government, I would calculate, about £2.4 billion, which in the scheme of things is quite affordable.
If you look at the money that's gone into the banks, that would seem to be pretty good return on your money.
Well, the most important thing of this is that if you can stimulate the housing sector and the housing market, the knock-on effect into the wider economy goes very much with what the Bank of England were launching yesterday, and this quantitative easing, as it's called, will ensure that that trickles out of the housing market and into the high street.
All right, thanks very much indeed, Henry. Not very optimistic there, but it's not all doom and gloom. I have to bring you this. The UK's largest provider of funeral-related services today reported a 14% rise in profits and said its prospects look very strong for the rest of the year. That's comforting. Here's the market.
Simon, thanks very much.
Okay.